I frequently get contacted by viewers to this channel asking me, Richard, why aren't my shrimp doing well? Why aren't I getting as many babies as I should? And when I get into conversation with them and delve deep into how they're running their aquariums, I usually find one of the following 6 elements is missing. In this video, I'm going to share with you the 6 things I think we need for a successful shrimp tank. And these things are super easy to remember because I've come up with the acronym TRAMPS. Yeah, I probably should have thought about that a bit better. Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Richard and I'm the author of the Neocaridina Shrimp Handbook. So let's start by looking at the first element in my TRAMPS system, which is T for test kits. Now we can't tell what's going on in our shrimp tanks just by looking at them. Yes, you can sometimes see the shrimp are acting weird, or yes, you might see the water is a little more cloudy than it should be. But typically you're looking, lights working, filters working, plants look fine, can't see anything wrong, and yet my shrimp aren't reproducing, my shrimp are dying. And that may well be because you have an elevated level of ammonia or nitrite or nitrates. Maybe your pH has dropped, maybe you haven't got enough calcium in the water. We can't tell any of these things just by looking at the tank. We need to use some sort of a test kit. Now there are essentially 2 different ways we can test our shrimp tanks. The first is with a liquid test kit like this one, the API Master Test Kit. And the other is by using test strips. These are the ESHA test strips, which are available here in Europe. I don't think they're available in the States, but something like the Aquarium Co-op test strip is supposed to be superb. Now, the liquid test kits are typically very accurate, but take a while to run each test. It takes between 1 and 5 minutes to do each of the individual tests. Whereas a test strip, you literally dip it in the aquarium, shake it off, leave it for a minute, and you get your results. Now, I typically only test an aquarium when I see something is going wrong. If I realize I haven't had any babies out of the blue diamond shrimp for a while, then I start to run some tests. If I find I've suddenly got some shrimp dying, like when my yellows just started dying for no apparent reason, then I test the water. What's gone wrong? I can't see if there's an ammonia spike just by looking at it. I can't tell if the pH has dropped for some reason just by looking into the aquarium. So I take my test kits, I test them, and that way, hopefully I can see, oh no, pH has dropped. Oh no, I've got nitrate in the water. I need to carry out a large water change straight away. Test kits are an absolutely invaluable tool for running a successful shrimp tank or fish tank. So what does the R stand for in our TRAMPS system? And the R is recording the results of your testing. Now you might test the aquarium today and the pH might be 7.6, which is exactly what you want it to be. But when you test in 2 months' time, are you going to necessarily remember what that pH was? Well, if, like me, you have multiple tanks, are you going to remember the pH or the nitrate levels or the ammonia spikes in every single tank? Personally, that's something I struggle with, which is why I developed the Shrimp Keeper's Journal. This is essentially a book designed specifically for recording the parameters of your shrimp tanks. Now, when I first started shrimp keeping, I just used scraps of paper I had lying around. Then I progressed onto Excel spreadsheets, which got overly complicated. Those Excel spreadsheets eventually evolved onto the data recording sheets that I use today in the journal. They record over 30 different parameters of your shrimp tank, and they're great for keeping track of when you carried out a water change, or what food you're feeding, or what breeding activity you see. Keeping records allows us to become better shrimp keepers. I genuinely believe success leaves clues, and we can also learn by our mistakes as long as we record them and refer back to them. That's why I made the Shrimp Keeper's Journal, which is available as a book directly from Amazon or as a digital download from my website, and I'll put links to both in the description below. Now, next in the TRAMPS system is A, and A stands for Add Botanicals. So what are botanicals? Botanicals are essentially things we add to our aquariums that will break down over time, and they typically break down slowly. And botanicals include catappa leaves, oak leaves, beech leaves. They include alder cones and other seed pods, and essentially pretty much anything we can add to our shrimp tank that will break down slowly over time. One of the main reasons our shrimp love having botanicals added to their tanks, especially leaves like catappa leaves, is as the leaves break down, they become absolutely covered in bacteria, and the shrimp feast on that bacteria. Often people new to the hobby think the shrimp are breaking down the leaves, the shrimp are eating the leaves, but they're not. The leaves are being broken down by the bacteria, by microscopic crustaceans, and the shrimp are feasting on those. The botanicals also become covered in biofilm, and shrimp love to eat biofilm. I would go as far as to say that every single shrimp tank should have a catappa leaf or some oak leaves or some alder cones, one of the many, many different botanicals you can get specifically for shrimp tanks. Now, the fourth letter in our tramp system is M, and M stands for moss. Shrimp do amazingly well when we add moss to our tank. Now, I typically use Java moss. Java moss is cheap, it's easy to come by, and it's so easy to grow. But there are dozens and dozens of different mosses on the market. You might get flame moss or Christmas moss or weeping moss, whatever it might be. The shrimp won't care. They will love having moss added to their aquarium. The moss not only provides the shrimp somewhere to hide and feel safe, especially if you keep fish in your shrimp tanks, but much like the botanicals, it becomes covered in biofilm. The shrimp will spend hours and hours every day just pecking at the moss. They're not eating the moss, they're eating the biofilm that forms it. They're eating the starts of algae, the microscopic crustaceans that live on the moss. Moss is also fantastic if you feed a crushed up flake or a powder food, it all gets caught up in the moss. And the shrimp, it's like a diner for them to sit and work their way through all the food that's caught up in the moss. It doesn't matter what moss you add to your aquarium, but let me assure you, adding moss is one of the secrets to breeding lots and lots of shrimp. So what does the P stand for in our system? The P stands for plants. Now, is plants different to moss? Well, yes, it is, absolutely. There are dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of different plants we can get for our aquarium. You get foreground plants, midground plants, tall background plants, plants with long grass-like leaves, plants with broad leaves. Some plants like to be planted in the substrate, others like to be stuck on rocks or wood. And here's the thing, the shrimp don't care what plants you put into your shrimp tank. They will just benefit from the fact you've added the plants. Now, why do they benefit from that? As the plants grow, they literally suck out ammonia or nitrite or nitrates from the water. I would argue that any aquarium with live plants growing in it is a better, healthier aquarium for your fish or your shrimp to live in. In fact, I haven't got a single tank in this room that doesn't have live plants in it. Even the goldfish have a small clump of Java moss. If you want to, you can try your hands at being the next MD fish tanks or the next Takeshi Amano and get really complex and put together some fabulous aquascapes for your shrimp. Or like me, you can just buy easy to grow plants and chuck them in your tank, and typically, if you set the environment up properly, they will grow. I cannot recommend enough adding live aquarium plants to your shrimp tank. So the sixth and final element in our tramps system, that's not getting better, is it? The more I say it, is S. And S stands for sitting and enjoying your shrimp. All too often, we as aquarists forget to just stop and enjoy what we've got. For me personally, to sit here for 10, 15, 20 minutes and just watch this individual shrimp cleaning that individual leaf of whatever it is that he's found on there, it's just a joy. It's a pleasure. We put all of this work in, all of this effort in, and we don't spend enough time just sitting and enjoying our shrimp. And what is the point in building these fabulous tanks and planting the plants and fertilizing and doing water changes and cleaning the glass and feeding and worrying how many shrimp we're going to breed if we never stop to enjoy it, if we never sit and just see what's going on? I would challenge anybody who feels like they're not succeeding with their shrimp tank just to sit and enjoy the shrimp, to watch the shrimp going about their day, to watch the shrimp being busy doing absolutely nothing is one of the best ways you can spend your time. And another great way to enjoy your time is to learn more about planted shrimp tanks. And you can do that by watching this video here. Thanks for watching.